screenshot of this. Okay, I told you guys about how when I was in the 7th grade, this is my life, guys. This poem rules my life. I believe in the Bible. I study it all the time. But as far as truly giving me insight and rules that I follow other than the Bible, this is the poem that at 7th grade I found it, I understood it, it resonated, and it plays in my head all the time. And I'm going to read it to you. Okay? If, by Rudyard Kipling, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are, if you can turn. Okay, hold on a second, guys. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Now there's a mistake in here because that is not how that poem reads right in there. That's what threw me off. This is the rules that I've used. Okay? And when I'm trading, I'll give you the stanzas that kick out in my head. When I'm trading, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Boy, does that come out a lot in my head. Okay? My self-talk. What I'm talking about here is self-talk. You need to have something that you talk to yourself with. For me, it is this poem. Because when things start breaking loose, I merely hear in my head, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too. If you don't think those phrases come out in my head, they come out all the time. Okay? And the phrase for me, really, if, let's see, where is it? Or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. Okay? Those are the phrases that play over in my head. I've actually recorded this. I've read it so many times it's a recording in my head. So that when I need something to self-talk to myself about, this poem comes in. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, guess when that one comes out? That one comes out when I get irritated with somebody and I think they're an idiot. Okay? The biggest one when I'm ready to give up. And this is why I know it's wrong. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you, but accept the will which says to them, hold on. So when I'm ready to give up, and I'm ready to call it a day, this phrase, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you, except the will which says to them, hold on. Okay? This is the poem, and you may have another poem that you use, but it's very important you get your self-talk straight. Okay? So now, the response you give back to me after hearing my failed versus bad trades, I got the failed versus the bad But now what? It's called reflection and self-talk. The reflection, the two questions, why did I do it, and how do I prevent it from happening again? Okay, I say that. What did you do? Yeah, okay. Yikes, okay? But I never condemn myself, okay? Because I come back to this poem. I play this poem in my head. This is my self-talk. And here is my self-talk. Find your self-talk. What I find when I talk with people, one, either they don't do self-talk, which is unbelievable to me, or it's always negative. Okay? Find something positive to be your self-talk. Okay? I know that if I can keep my head when all about me are losing theirs and blaming it on you, I'll succeed. I know that if I can force myself to do what I don't think I can do, and hang on and keep doing it, I'll succeed. This is my self-talk. Find your own. You can use it too if you want. I don't care. But it's reflection and self-talk. When people say, well, how do I manage a loss? I ask them, what's your self-talk? Oh, I'm beating myself up about it. Right there's the word that I'm going to tell them. You can't. Your self-talk has got to be the most positive thing you can come up with. Because I'll tell you what, if you need somebody to be negative, go tell your spouse what you just did. And then listen to them for 2 years. Lori, how's your trading going? How's that stock? I lost $300,000. Excuse me? You did what? 2 years I listened to them. What did you do? You did that. You could have had a house. We could have had a house. What do you mean you lost $300,000 in one trade? My God, what did you do? I don't need any negative self-talk after listening to that. I finally told him, you know how I shut him up? Hey, wait a minute. I've spent 2 years kicking myself. I don't need you doing it too. You've made mistakes. I've made mistakes. I've identified it's a mistake. That's the way it is, and I'm working on correcting it. I'm going to make it better. Don't be greedy, Lori. And that sits on my computer. Don't be greedy. Okay, and I have a setup that keeps me from trading chop. But as far as negative self-talk, you don't need any. Go tell your spouse. They'll give you plenty. You are only allowed as a trader to give yourself positive self-talk. Okay? And if that means that you have to sit, and I'm going to tell you, print this thing out, and I want you to say it every day. Read it every day until you know that there's a mistake in it, because that's not what this poem says. At least not in my head. Make yourself talk positive. The reason you can't manage your losses is that you're not managing yourself. You have to manage your psychology. It doesn't mean that you get to wallow in the pity party. You get 1 minute of pity party. I want 1 minute of, oh God, what did I do? I really screwed up. I've made a mess. I've lost this. That is not right. You're not supposed to do that. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. 1 minute. You get to say everything negative you can say. Go look in the mirror. I don't care what you do. You get 1 minute. At the end of that 1 minute, you're going to tell yourself, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, that's what you're going to do. 1 minute of a pity party of, boy, did I screw up. 1 minute. That's all you get. It takes no more than that to break your confidence anyways. Your confidence is already shaken. You don't need your self-talk to be pounding you down on the ground. Your self-talk needs to be positive. You need to be saying, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, if you can trust yourself when you don't trust yourself, you make yourself trust yourself because you're going to say, hey, I've identified I did a bad trade. I know I did that. Here's what I did wrong, and here's how I'm going to correct it, and I'm going to put into my trading plan and into my daily routine what it takes to prevent that from happening again. I am going to be aggressive, and I'm going to be positive in my outlook. I'm going to be able to trust myself. But I'm going to make allowances for my own doubting, and I'm going to put in place those rules that make sure I don't do this again. But I am not going to be negative, and I'm not going to sit there and keep pounding on myself for a bad trade. Okay? You're not going to do it. The only person who's going to build you up as a trader is yourself. You get 1 minute of a pity party, and that is it. That trade, you look at it from then on going, it was a bad trade. And I'm working on the solution. That is how you manage it. Okay, you don't have to have some witchcraft ceremony. You don't have to go and do God knows what. All you have to do is admit, yeah, I made a mistake, and I'm going to make it better. That's the adult thing to do. You don't sit there and wallow in the past. I learned one thing as a child. The past is the past. You can't change it, so why worry about it? Just keep going forward. And how do I keep going forward? This poem. And I never realized until I found the solution why this poem has made me the trader that I am. Because this is the basis of my self-talk. I want you guys to work over the next week, over the next 2 weeks before our next talk. I want you to actually work on your self-talk, and I want it to be positive. If you have a bad trade, you get 1 minute. You go look in the mirror and you tell yourself everything negative that your spouse will tell you when they find out you've lost $100,000. Okay? Roll the trade up. Make it a huge loss. And go tell yourself everything you can imagine in the mirror. 1 minute. And then you're done. And then I want you to take this poem and I want you to sit down and I want you to read it. And I want you to say it out loud. And I want you to find that part that says, yeah, this is it. And I want you to repeat it 10 times. I want you to learn positive self-talk. You have to learn it. It has to be positive. And your reflection is merely, oh shit, I messed up. Why did I do it? Okay, how am I going to prevent it? Well, that's going to take some solutions. Maybe I'll need to talk to Lori. Maybe I'll need to talk to one of the moderators. Maybe I'll need to call support. Maybe I'll need to call my trading buddy. And maybe I need to call my mentor. And ask, how do I keep it from doing it again? Because guess what, guys? There's 1,000,001 chance they've been there, done that, and they've got a partial solution, if not the whole thing. Okay? Who am I talking to? When I'm standing in front of the mirror, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to 3 people. Me, myself, and I. Okay? My greatest fan club is me, myself, and I. But I'll tell you what, me, myself, and I can have some pretty good arguments too. But we follow the rules. No gunny stacking. You can't bring up old bad trades. If I've got a bad trade in front of me, me, myself, and I can discuss that bad trade, but don't we dare discuss those other trades. I can tell you about my $300,000 loss. I can tell you about blowing up my $1,000 account. I can tell you about the time I put on a trade without a stop loss and lost my account. I can tell you that because I've resolved myself that those are mistakes that I've made. I'm going to share them with other people because then you start realizing you ain't the only one. Okay? But do I pound myself about it? No. There's nothing I can do about it. It's the past. It's the past. I can't change it. I don't worry about it. Okay? Now, reflection and self-talk is also parent, child, and adult. There's different elements in our self-talk. Okay? What I'm telling you is to talk to yourself as an adult in the discipline. When you look at yourself in a mirror, 1 minute. You get to discipline yourself for 1 minute. You're talking to the adult. Okay? You are talking to you, the trader, who decided to put on that trade for 1 minute. It's negative. That's all you get. And eventually you'll get to the point where it's like, oh shit, that was a good one, Lori. And that's it. That's all. That's all I do. Oh shit. Oh well, let's work on it. How much negative talk did I get? About 5 seconds. That's all I do. And I can find anybody else I need to chew me out anytime I want. I don't do it. That was a fun one, Lori. Really good. That's the adult. But there's a child in there. You guys see a picture of her. She's on the internet. I was very honest with you guys. That's me. God knows what I did. I pulled some big ones. I think I was actually hiding in that trunk, and my mother had found me. And that's why I was giggling. Okay? That's the child. Okay? How do these affect my trading? The adult, the parent, and the child. The adult actually is the one that identifies, oh shit, did you mess up? Okay, that's the adult. The adult is the one that puts on the trades. The adult is the one that does everything, guys. The adult does everything. Now, I don't really see the parent, except for the parent saying you need to study. You need to learn. The parent kicks out when the adult goes, okay, I messed up, what do I do? Then comes the parent. Well, we need to study. We need to plan a plan of attack, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. Okay, that's the parent. The parent's the one who's basically giving you the possible solutions. We need to talk to Lori. We need to talk to Chrissy. We need to talk to AJ. We need to call my trading buddy. We need to call my mentor. we need to do that. That's the parent consulting the adult. Okay? The child is the one you guys have been beaten up on. And you're not allowed to beat up on that child anymore. Okay? That's called your inner child. What is your inner child? What is your inner child? They're the optimist. They're the one that says, I can do this. I might be 50 years old, but I can learn a brand new trade. I can do this. I might be 80 years old, and we've got a few 80-year-old members, guys, and they are absolutely amazing. But their child is the optimist. Inside of all of us is an optimistic little child who lives for tomorrow, who says, well, that was yesterday. Today, guess what we're going to do? And tomorrow, oh, that's going to be even funner. Your inner child is your sense of optimism in the future. He's the one that looks forward to the future, not the old fart that has lived for 50 years. The old fart's going, good Lord, look at what I've done in my life. And the little child is going, yeah, but look at what you could do. It's the little child is your sense of optimism. Hang on to it. You never get to chew your child out because guess what? I've just told you. You only get 1 minute of a pity party, and that pity party, it better be in front of a mirror where you're looking at the adult in the eye and going, what did you do? Okay? Because I'll tell you what. When you sit down in the chair and you're thinking, guess who you are at that moment? There's no way you're the adult. You're the child. You've slipped back into the child mode. And you start chewing yourself out for those trades. You're chewing your child out. You're chewing out the optimism that you're going to be able to do it. You don't chew the child out. You chew the adult out. You look him in the mirror and you say, I'm talking to you. Old, wrinkled face, gray hair, overweight, whatever. I'm talking to you. And when you sit in your chair, you're talking to your child. And guess what you get to say to that child? We'll get it right. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be better. The child is your optimist. Don't kill it. Okay? The child is what gives you the ability to call LTG and say, I'd like to become a member because I want to learn how to trade. That's your child in you. Why? Because the child's the dreamer. Your child is the one who hangs on to the dream. The old fart doesn't have any more dreams. The child in us has the dream. The adult, he's just struggling to get by. But who looks forward to tomorrow? Who wakes you up and goes, it's a beautiful day out there, let's go play? That's the child, guys. And you have to protect the child. And I'm going to ask you a question. As a parent, I know most of you are parents. When your kid does something wrong, do you keep beating him up day in, day out for a mistake? If they come to you and they say, oh, I did something really bad, what do? You wrap them in your arms, you hold them close, and you give them kisses, and you tell them it's going to be okay. Why do you guys pound on your child that way? Don't. You tell that child, I figured out what we did wrong. We know what we have to do. And tomorrow will be a better day. You know, I told the room the other day that I love myself. And I'm not narcissistic. Some have said that, but I'm not narcissistic. But I love myself. Do you know why I love myself? Because I know that dreamer, that the optimist, the one that believes I can do anything I want to do as long as I want to do it, because my mommy told me that for years. That's my child. I love my child. She's really fun. She has a blast. She's very honest, and sometimes painfully so. But she has dreams. She has optimism. She has a love of life and a love of people that I would die without it. I love my little child. So I don't get to pound on my little child. I get to pound on the adult. Okay? If I got a problem, I go look in the mirror and I say, okay, Lori, here's where you're at. And I'm looking at the wrinkles in my face, the gray in my hair, the chub on my cheeks, and going, this is you, girl. And I'm seeing the adult. I'm identifying with myself as an adult. You need to change it. I don't go sit in my chair and tell my little child, you need to change what you dream about. You need to change your optimism. You need to quit being a dreamer. I never tell her that. I ask her, what's your dream? How's tomorrow going to be? Oh, it's going to be great. Are you ready for it? How do I keep my enthusiasm about trading? Because I know that as the adult, I've pulled all the bad stuff. The adult did everything bad. I go talk to her in the mirror. There's an adult standing in front of me. I'm chewing her out. But my little child, when I'm sitting there going, how are we going to do in the markets? Oh, we're going to do great. We're going to get there. We got this to change. Mama has said we got to change this. We got to change this. We got to change this. But we can do it because tomorrow's going to be a better day. Don't kill your inner child. Your self-talk. Your self-talk. Okay? The chewing out that you give yourself in the mirror, okay? That's for the bad trade. Okay? That's the adult. The self-talk that you do, if you have no other recording to give yourself, study this poem, learn this poem, practice this poem. This is your self-talk. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Or you can say you'll be a woman, my daughter. It doesn't matter. The key is all of this is what goes on when you grow up. And your little child would really like to grow up, but they never do. But they always believe they're going to get there. But you know what? I don't want my little girl to grow up because you know what? I love my little girl because she's my optimism. She's my dream. And do I have a dream of being Warren Buffett? You bet your buns. Do I have a dream? I mean, part of my dreams come true. I would have never thought to be here at LTG. Never. Did I do it? I'll tell you what, my inner child is the one that said, take the job. You can do it. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, let's play. Let's go. Let's do it. My inner child talked me into taking this job. I listened to my inner child because she's the optimist. She's my dreamer. And I need her. Okay? Rules for the inner child. And then I got to quit. But the rules for the inner child, don't be mean. It's a child. Love them. Hug them close. Which means that you have to accept your mistakes and you go, okay, we're going to do better tomorrow. Your psychology, you have to let it go. You got to let go of the mistakes. Mistakes are with you your whole life. You can find any reason to keep them, and even other people keep track of your mistakes. But I'll be honest, other people have so many mistakes in their life, they don't remember the ones in yours. They're so busy keeping track of all their mistakes, they don't keep track of yours. You know the nice thing about having a brain injury? I don't remember my mistakes. I don't remember yesterday. I don't remember the day before. I have to actually look at a balance sheet to go, oh yeah, I messed up. Does that help optimism? You bet. But you can't be mean to your inner child. It's a child. Treat her like you would do your own children. Love them. Give them hugs. Give them lots of kisses and give them lots of encouragement because that child will then keep it going. I told a story the other day about my daughter. I had a patient die and it was tough. The first time you ever have your patient die, it is probably the hardest thing to ever deal with. You know, they try to teach you as a doctor, be distant, but you still love your patients. At least I do. And I came home and I was very close to tears and I sat in the chair. And she crawled up next to me and she put her hands on either side of my face and she leaned in and she goes, it's okay, Mama. It's okay. It's going to be okay, Mama. Let your child comfort you because your child's going to tell you, there's always tomorrow. We, as adults, live in the current and the past. Our inner child is what keeps us going in the future. If you want to keep your optimism and your enthusiasm for what you're doing, let the little child be. Love them. And love the dream of becoming the best trader that you can imagine. Love the dream, and you'll get there. I love my inner child. I love who my little girl is. She's always looking forward to the next day. And when I take that long walk down the hallway at my office after a day of patients who are hurting and not knowing if I did the best that I could, you know what my inner child tells me? We'll do better tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. And guess what I've promised her? I will always try to do better tomorrow. I don't ignore her. I know that there's always tomorrow. Always. Okay? Don't be mean. It's your dreams and your optimism. If you got to have a pity party, go look at the mirror and say everything your spouse, your friend, your loved one, your partner, your family would say to you. 1 minute. That's all you get. And then I want you to go sit in your chair, read If, realizing that it's the little child who feels like they've made the mistake. And you love your little child, and you let your little child say yes. We may have made a mistake, but there's always tomorrow. We'll do better. Okay? Always. Encourage yourself. No one else is going to do it. You've got to become your own coach. Your mentor will many times become your coach. Sometimes they'll be your parent. Sometimes they'll be the adult you have to answer to. But many times they're going to be the one who's encouraging. And when they're encouraging, realizing you're encouraging the child. That becomes very important. Respect your dreams. Being the best trader in the world, being able to support yourself financially with trading is not a crazy dream. It is an attainable dream. You have to learn, you have to study, you have to have discipline. But all of those things are things that you can do. Okay? You're still standing up on 2 feet. You're still in the game. As long as you're in the game, you're there. You just got to learn more of the rules. You got to learn more of the game. Don't give up. And believe in your dreams. Because they're valid dreams. If I can do it, guys, you can do it. The only difference is I found my inner child and I let her drive my visions of tomorrow. I don't have bad visions of tomorrow. Never. It's amazing. I was thinking about that. When someone asks me about what's tomorrow, it'll be better. Because I listen to my little child because she says it's going to be better. If you work for me today, I'll make tomorrow better for you. Okay? You work for me today. You tell me that today is as good as you can give me, and tomorrow I'll make it better for you. Tomorrow's always better. Listen to the little child. Encourage yourself because you're encouraging your inner child. Respect the dreams that your inner child gives you because those are the dreams that made you get this far anyways. Maybe you're not an Olympic swimmer or you're not, I've had some of my dreams come true. I've played for the president as a musician. Who could ask for more? I didn't have any dream greater than that. I've beat an Olympic champion. Granted, we were on kickboards and I kicked her ass. But I did it. I may not have gone to the Olympics, but I was almost as good as an Olympic champion. And I accepted that because I was about 1.5 feet shorter. Okay? But I believed in my dreams. Okay? And that is what made me a trader. I believed I could get to the point of being a trader. Okay? Encourage yourself, respect your dreams, and believe in them. Okay? Those are the rules for treating your inner child, and the biggest thing is don't be mean. And I've told you the rules. You're not allowed to beat up on your inner child. You're allowed to love your inner child. And if it comes down to it, you read the poem If. Okay? That is the initial discussion on the inner child. I want you guys to take this away, and I want you to practice it. And then we'll do some discussions over the next week or two, and then I'll bring in an even bigger lecture or presentation on the inner child. And I hope that helps everyone. Okay?